Hey y'all, I'm in Queens. Yeah, I did a lot of different things. I got out of the house and sure. However, not because it's hot and muggy. I'm about to go see a movie at the Museum of the Moving Image, Europa Europa by Agnieszka Holland. It's a World War II flick. It's also a flick about the Holocaust, but not from the point of view of the concentration camp, the point of view of a young Jewish boy. So I did see Europa Europa, and I didn't realize this, but the director, Agnieszka Holland, was present at the screening. So that was pretty cool because apparently she's here in New York. 1,000 movies you should see before you die. And I think for me, I mean, there's a lot of things to say about the movie. You should go watch it. But yeah, so I saw Europa Europa, and then afterward there was a Q&A with her and a Hollywood exec that helped her get her film Europa Europa into production and like distributed. It won the best adapted screenplay for the Oscars in 1990. Was poo-pooed by the German film elite at that time. Things that I want to say was that it was really cool to see Agnieszka Holland talk about her film and still have a passion and just charisma about her process, even though this film was made in 1990 and she still is like a firecracker. It was just enjoyable to see her speaking about the movie, and there were just little moments. Kind of a neat idea. The second thing was just my own personal history with cinema in this movie. I actually had seen this movie when I was myself a teenager. I think it was introduced to me by a librarian, and I watched a VHS copy of it that I had gotten from the library. And I think one of the things that struck me, even when I watched it such a long time ago, was the frank way that it talks about sexuality and the frank way that it talks about a young man's own sexual becoming and his own, like, in a very non-sentimental but insightful, like very like I just remember it had an effect on me as a young teenager growing up with my own burgeoning homosexuality, my own identity and stuff like that. And that's really the theme of the movie, about identity and how we think of ourselves as having like a national identity or whatever, or ethnic identity. And the truth is that like that we were born that we were born into this world by someone, right? And we and that fact about us, we can't change it, right? Where we come from, right? Where we enter this world from. And if you've seen the movie, and I don't want to give too much away, I really want you to see it. It shows the permutations of this kid as he has to sort of like take on these different identities to survive, right? And really the fact of his survival is a true story. It's based on a true story about Solomon Perel. But it's a fantastic story in the truest sense of that word, fantastic. And then the third thing about the movie, just seeing it last night after after not having seen it for such a long time, is the way music is punctuated throughout the film. I think Agnieszka Holland said in the interview afterwards that there's only 15 minutes of actual sound, like music, in the movie. But when music does appear, it punctuates these emotional moments. And also the film is extremely chaotic. So the music is one of the elements that ties the film together and gives it its emotional heart, and keeps you committed to the characters as you're processing all these things. Like when you're watching the film, you're thinking, okay, where is he now? What is his identity? Where is he in Germany or in Poland? What's happening? How did he get there? Right? How is he a Hitler Youth? Right? All those different things. Yeah. In bonus points, I will say that I definitely did have a crush on the lead actor. I think he was 20 when he played the role of Solomon, of Sully. And it reminded me of how when I was a kid, I thought he was really cute. And Agnieszka Holland says, and it said last night in her thing, that when the movie became popular and people were watching it, that guy's, the main actor's face was published in all of the gay magazines. And she's like, yeah, he was a handsome guy. I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny.